Very difficult to do that everywhere. And that's not what I'm trying to do. Okay? What I'm trying to do is get the relationship right. Like the relationship between how dark her skin is to her hair. I don't care what color it is. As long as that relationship is right, it's going to look good. Okay? Well, I think it looks good. You know what I mean? You decide. You can decide if it looks good or not. Okay? But you understand what I'm saying? So it's all about color relationships as opposed to color matching. Very difficult to match colors, especially natural skin tones. Okay, so I already know I need more colors from looking. Okay, the colors that I have on my palette are too bright. I need some more neutral colors like yellow ochre. Maybe some Naples. These are just natural colors, okay, or earth colors. And then if I need to saturate them, I'll just use whatever's already on my palette. Okay? So so I don't want to spend. I have to speed this up, but you can see how difficult it is to speed this up. With all the amount of information that I want to share with you, and the task of getting this down. Let me block in her shirt or her sweater because.
And can you tell us the colors that you're pulling in?
I just used out some dioxazine purple. And I'm mixing in with this red that I have on the canvas. On my palette now, which is a cadmium medium red. Cadmium medium.
Dioxazine.
Yeah. So this is gonna. Ooh, that's good for maybe the shadow. This is gonna get me close enough to her sweater. Okay. And at this stage, it's too early to try to get it right, because typically this is done. Over like 2 or 3 days. This way of working. Does that make sense? So I have plenty of opportunities to tweak it, but to tweak it now would not be working from general to specific. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Also, what I'm doing is I'm picking up the paint and I'm just gonna put it like around and then bring them together. If I just try to spread this whole thing, all over the place, it's going to get very thin very quickly. Okay, so this needs to lighten up a little bit in the light parts. And so remember, when you lighten something, white should be the last resort. White. Because there's something else that's light. Yellow is pretty light, so try that first. Okay? And if that doesn't work, then go in with some white. But too much white will create like toothpaste. Does that make sense? Let's see here.
What do you mean?
It's pasty. The white, it tends to kill the color.
It doubles it, it grays it.
Yeah, it turns it into like a pastel color. Okay, which are beautiful colors. Don't get me wrong. Okay, but it's not the color I'm after. Okay, so just by putting this down, you see, I'm taking a moment to say, look, this relationship is not correct. Either that needs to be darker or this needs to be lighter. Sometimes it's one or the other. Sometimes it's both. I need to go in both directions. Okay, so let's see here. So I'm trying to darken this with the dark stuff on my palette. Does that make sense? So there's not really a specific color that I go to each time. And what else is dark on here that I can use?
But aren't you totally changing the, temperature or warmth or coolness of the color when you do that?
Yeah, but wait, actually, can you be more specific? Like the colors, the colors have different ways. They can go darker or lighter, warmer or cooler. Okay, and I go where it needs to go. But it's definitely gonna change. Once I mix other colors in it, okay, it's definitely going to change. So is this shadow warm or cool? This part on her,
Warm. It's warm.
Darker.
warm, okay, now here's the next step, the next thing. You can't just stop there. Compared to what? It's warm compared to what?
To her sweater. After darker.
Which part of her sweater? Okay, this shadow is definitely darker than
The best part.
the light part of her sweater. But is the light part warmer or cooler than the shadow? Can you go?
Remember cooler colors, purples, blues, greens, warm, red, yellow.
For me, I feel this is cooler than that. There's more reddish, orangey colors in here. Compared to bluish, purplish colors in there. But if you compare this shadow, this shadow has the potential to be cool too. It depends on what you're comparing it to. Does that make sense? Okay. So let me see here. Let me touch there, okay? And you gotta make sure it's dark enough. And I'm gonna add brown in here.
Umber and dioxazine.
Yeah, to whatever it is I have here already. So,
Right.
and I'm gonna make it darker than it is for now, so that I can go back to it. Okay? So let me move on to the light part. It needs to be lighter. And what you should be watching out for, again, is just trying to mix the exact color. Okay? Sometimes I get really close. Okay? I question how accurate I can get if I want to move on to her face. Okay? But this is what it looks like when you block in, or when I block in.
Are you using white because it's going to be a highlight? Or...
No, I'm using some white because it's light. Okay, so I'm not getting it because that's true too. So I'm gonna put this here. It's a pastel color that I was trying to avoid. Okay, but what's more important to me right now? The color correctness or exactness, or the value relationship? The value relationship. Because if I have that down, the next session that I get into this, I just need to shift this color, but I know what value it needs to be. Okay? So I'm going to move on. Okay, so that's one step of the process there. Value. Value is, in this situation, more important than the color. Okay, so look, remember, you're going to have to do this too. And I'm going to be sitting or standing behind you. Okay? So be nice. Let's move on to her face. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing. Okay? What is the lightest part of her face?
Her chin and under her eyes.
The cheekbone.
Okay. Okay, good. All those things are pretty close. Okay? What's the darkest part of her face? The nostril, yeah, that's a small detail. The right side of her face is pretty dark, right?
Yeah.
The shadow part. Okay, this is pretty close. Or what I have there. It's the wrong color, right? But the value is pretty close. So let's leave that. Let's move on to the light part, okay? Let's mix that generic color and see what we need to do to it. Okay? Let's see here. I need to clean my brushes. Okay. Any other questions? No? Just waiting for the magic to happen.
So you could do this whole thing in completely wrong colors and it would still work because the value.
Yes! Yes, and I wouldn't call them wrong.
I mean, like.
Yeah, but yes.
Unreal.
Light and dark.
If you have the value down, you can be more expressive with your color. If your objective is to try to get as close as you can, that's good too. Okay, but the value, if you get that down, that allows you to be more expressive. Does that make sense? Allows you to put more color in there. Allows you to push how warm or how cool it is if you keep the values the same. Yeah, very important. Very good question. Okay, let's just put something down here, see what happens. I don't know what's gonna happen, let's see here. Okay, let's touch another place before I decide if this will work anywhere else. Okay, I don't know, let me see here. It's close enough.
Yeah.
Close enough, okay? So,
Mid-tone?
midtones, yes, midtones. Very good. The highlight, where is the highlight? And is the highlight that light? Is the highlight that light? Look. Let me see here. This is white, right? If you compare how light this is to the highlight, oh my gosh, the highlight's not that white. So if you put white when you see a highlight, you're not observing carefully enough. Does that make sense? Okay, good. I'm glad you mentioned that because if I don't get to it, I feel like I would regret that. So let me see here. Let's see, what do I need to do? Let's block in. Let's block in with a color that's close enough. Okay, because then that color is going to tell us what we need to do. It's too hard to figure it out, like to know exactly what you're doing.
Is it possible to do a good portrait without blocking in?
It is. This is just one way to do it.
Okay.
This is just one way to do it. It is possible to do it without blocking in, without drawing. Yeah. But I don't know how to do it that way. So I'm not. So I'm showing you this way, right? Okay. It is possible to project an image onto a canvas, trace it, and do that too. Why not? Right? It's just, that's just another way. And each way gives you a different result. You decide what result you want. I'm blocking in now. I know I'm going to be able to adjust this as I go. Okay, let me see here. Let me see. And I'm going to start to lose my initial drawing, the lines. Okay.
And what about your planes that we talked about? Are you paying attention to those?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely. And I may lose them.
But you still have them in your head?
Yeah, because I did the drawing. I already have the notes in my head. Okay, and that's hard to see in a YouTube video, and that's why I'm glad you're here to ask these questions. Okay, because sometimes when you watch a pro on YouTube, you don't get to ask them questions. Okay, and
Yeah, and they work really fast too, so
like
you
yeah,
can't.
like it's unhuman. Like it's like this, and they're done.
Yeah.
You know, right? And let's see here.
It seems like it would be kind of frustrating to mix colors twice. Like not do it all the way perfectly the first go through and then do it again.
I understand. I totally understand. And if you can get it, go for it. That's what I would say to that. Like if you need to get this right before you touch it, that's totally legitimate. That's a totally legitimate way of doing it. Okay? And in my head, this might be using the same color all over the place. Yuji would like kick you right now. Okay? I'm not Yuji though. And I can't do it exactly like Yuji does, okay? But I know that, okay, I anticipate changing this. Okay? For me, I just need to cover this white. It's just throwing me off. Okay? I know it ain't white, and I know, okay. I know that this part is not as pink as that part. Okay, so I'm gonna eventually get there. Okay, how much time do I have? Let's see here. Let me just cover this, okay? This is, and this is the pile. Someone asked me about a pile.
6 more minutes.
Somebody asked me about a pile. This is essentially my pile that I'm going to go in and push that way, push this way,
Yeah.
and that way or this way.
Yeah.
Okay, so great question, and let's see here. But I never explained it that way. You know, so I'm really glad you asked me that question. So, let's see, what else? What are some obvious things? That lip is redder than the rest of her face, right? Let's get that in there. Let's get the easy stuff down. Right? And when you're stuck, go back to, okay, what can I see that's, I don't have to like ask, I don't have to guess too much.
So
okay?
you're not stuck on light or dark or anything, you're just looking for some obvious thing, right? You didn't look at the lips because they were lighter or darker or something?
Yeah, it just, yeah.
Okay.
I switch back and forth. I go,
Yeah.
like when I draw, I switch from let's look at lines and say, oh, I'm getting tired of looking at lines. Let's look at shapes, okay? And same thing, let's look at light stuff. What stands out? Oh, nothing is standing out as quickly with the light. So let's look for color that stands out. And then let's look at shape. So your brain is like constantly jumping around, even more so than my brush, right? And that's why Eugene never let us listen to music. It's hard to do these days, though, to get students to not listen to music. And honestly, some people just work better, but you can see when your jam comes on, it's hard to ask yourself these questions, because especially when the chorus comes, you're singing the song, you're not like here, right? You're on the dance floor, right?
Most painters I sit for like to listen to classical.
Yeah, no lyrics, right? So that helps. But yeah, well, it's very easy to get distracted, and it's very easy to have your mind wanders. Okay. What else? Let's get more white. I gotta get rid of the white. It's just you gotta do it. Okay, don't get stuck. I know I want to really impress you with these skin tones. Trust me, I really do. But I'm like, there's no point if there's too much white on the canvas. Okay, so let's just block it in. It's totally not the right color, but at least it's not white. Okay, and I'm gonna keep going. And that is totally not the right color. And I can imagine the disbelief. Okay, let me see here. A little bit closer. I'm getting rid of white. I'm trying to tell myself is don't get hung up on the exact color right now. Okay, let's see.